to you today as the world's most sunburned gringo. I was reading a book over the weekend for 2 hours on a cloudy day, and I've lived in Australia for 6 months, spent weeks in Mexico, most of the time without sunscreen, but I got absolutely roasted. But anyways, and you can see that I'm getting the kind of wrinkles that come before my forehead just starts peeling off my face. But anyways, since I've moved down here to Colombia, I've been consciously making an effort to speak to everyone that I can, and there's two reasons for that. One of them being that I want to meet as many people as I can, because many of them, as I mentioned, are online business owners and expats who I can learn a lot from. And then secondly is to learn Spanish. And you should have seen and I at the club on Saturday, club Rejections. And then multiply that by the fact that it's a white dude attempting to speak Spanish. So pretty brutal, but pretty hilarious at the same time. So I've been going to the gym in my apartment as well, and I've been able to meet a few people just by going to the gym. And again, since I'm trying to speak to everyone I can, I've made some pretty awesome connections. So one guy was a WordPress developer from Germany. And he's been traveling and working with his girlfriend. So I was able to meet him, and then also I was able to meet a Colombian guy who's also a web designer and developer. So two very cool connections that are related to what I'm doing. So awesome. And last weekend I was buying groceries at the store, and when I say that, I meant that I was Googling and trying to figure out what it is that I'm buying. And I was attempting to order a kilo of ground beef in broken Spanish, and a couple started talking to me. The guy asked what I did, and I told him I was a web designer, also working on a few different things. And he said, "Oh, perfect! I need a web designer. I need help with my website." So we ended up exchanging numbers, and 2 days later, I went to meet up with him. So this guy, he owns a franchise store in Colombia, equivalent to like a Forever 21. So I went and met with him, and he basically talked me through some of the problems he was having and wanted to see if I could assist with those. So the first few questions that he had was related to e-commerce, and that's something that I've not personally worked with before. But the German guy who I had met in my gym a few days before, that's exclusively what he works on. So I gave him a call, and I was able to sort out a few things with him, and that allowed me to communicate effectively with Juan, who was the guy who I was meeting with. So, perfect. That was awesome. And then there was another issue, and that was that Juan had just paid for a new website, and the company was unresponsive for the most part. And worst of all, he was paying $500 monthly for updates, which, for those of you who don't know, is an absolutely absurd amount of money. $100 is even pushing it. So I said, "Look, Juan, here's what we need to get from the company that you hired, and once we have this information, we'll be able to maintain the site ourselves, and you won't have to pay them this absurd monthly fee." So he put me on the phone with them, and he told me to pretend like I was a representative from his franchise's corporate office. So I got on the phone and I said, "Look, here's what I need. Give me this. I'm from the corporate office. Don't ask any questions." And they agreed. Of course, Juan was super happy, and I was also super happy because I had just saved Juan $6,000, and it just made me very appreciative of one, the fact that I was able to leverage the connections that I had made, and on top of that, we decided that the rest of the updates that he would need, I would be able to manage, and I actually spoke with the other Colombian web designer and developer, and he'll be able to manage that project. So I'll be able to guide him on whatever it is that Juan needs. So I was able to leverage both of those connections, and it got me thinking that, you know, this is why I love to travel. This is why I love to go out, meet new people, experience new things. And as I've mentioned on my Facebook in the last few weeks, I'm writing a post featuring 40, 50 plus millionaires, entrepreneurs, professional athletes, and I'm asking for their pieces of advice to their 20-something self. And one piece of advice that I thought was was awesome and directly related to this situation was from my friend Ronnie, who runs a very popular travel blog. And his piece of advice was, go see the world and really talk to the people that you meet. Listen to their stories and appreciate the miracle it is that you're both sitting in that specific spot in that specific time having a conversation. And I just love this quote because it's so true. You know, here I am, some sunburned gringo from Washington, D.C., and I was able to just help this Colombian guy who, you know, a few months ago, I never would have even thought I'd be in Colombia. But I was able to just save this awesome dude $6,000 for his business, and on top of that, I'm going to be able to get paid for helping him out with further updates. So, again, this is why I love travel, and I thought that this quote was perfectly relevant for this situation, and I just thought that it was a really cool story to share with you guys today. That's all I have for you today, but by the next time you see me, I'll probably have leprosy of my forehead. I'll probably have a few different colors of my skin up here, so I'll keep you posted on that, but talk to you guys soon.